Have you ever found yourself in relationships, whether with friends, family, or even romantic partners, where you feel undervalued, misunderstood, or incomplete? You try to give your all, to share who you really are, but the response is indifference or worse, rejection. The truth is, not everyone in your life is capable of valuing your whole self, and that's okay. The real challenge is learning to break away from these people to protect your peace, your authenticity, and your happiness. Life is too short to be spent surrounded by people who only want a piece of you, the part they like, the part they can tolerate, or the part they find convenient. You deserve relationships that honor every aspect of who you are, the light and the shadows, the successes and the struggles. It's time to reclaim your worth by choosing to let go of those who can't or won't value your whole self. Section 1. The signs you're not being valued. In the beginning, it can be hard to tell when someone isn't valuing your entire self. Sometimes the signs are subtle. You might feel small shifts in the way they respond to you or dismiss your thoughts and feelings. Over time, these small moments can grow into a more profound realization. You are giving more than you're receiving, and your authentic self is not being welcomed or appreciated. A common sign is when you feel like you're constantly having to dim your light or hide parts of who you are. Maybe you're suppressing your passions because they don't align with what others around you deem important. Or perhaps you've tried to express vulnerability and emotions, only to be met with disinterest or judgment. These are signs that the people around you aren't valuing the fullness of who you are. It's also common to feel emotionally drained after interacting with these individuals. When you're in a relationship where you're undervalued, you might find that instead of feeling uplifted or supported, you feel depleted. Instead of experiencing connection and understanding, you feel more isolated, even in their presence. At some point you have to ask yourself, is this the kind of energy you want in your life? Surrounding yourself with people who fail to value your whole self can slowly erode your confidence and self-worth. Recognizing these patterns is the first step in breaking free. Section 2. Understanding your true worth. One of the reasons we stay in relationships where we're undervalued is because deep down, we might not fully understand our own worth. We think that we have to settle for less because maybe that's all we deserve. But here's the truth. Your worth isn't determined by someone else's ability to see it. Your worth is inherent. It's not dependent on someone's approval, nor does it diminish because others fail to acknowledge it. You are enough as you are, and the people who truly care about you will value your whole self, not just the parts that are convenient or easy to love. Breaking away from those who can't value you starts with self-awareness. You need to look inward and recognize the traits, strengths, and uniqueness that make you who you are. Ask yourself, what do I bring to the table? What are the parts of myself that I'm proud of, that make me feel alive and whole? These reflections help you build a stronger sense of self and make it easier to identify when others are failing to recognize your full value. When you understand your worth, you're less likely to tolerate relationships that drain you. You'll know that you deserve people who celebrate your achievements, embrace your quirks, and stand by you during difficult times. You'll realize that you don't have to settle for being half seen. Section 3. Why it's hard to let go. Even when we know that we're not being valued, breaking away from these relationships can still be incredibly difficult. Why? Because humans are wired for connection, and walking away from relationships, especially ones that have been in your life for a long time, can feel like a loss. You might fear being alone, or you might worry about hurting the other person. But staying in a relationship where you're undervalued is, in the long run, far more damaging than stepping away. There's also the fear of change. We get comfortable with the familiar, even when it's toxic or unhealthy. It feels easier to stick with what we know than to face the uncertainty of building new, more fulfilling relationships. But this comfort is deceptive. It keeps you stuck, unable to grow into the fullest version of yourself. Breaking away isn't about abandoning people. It's about creating space for people who truly see and appreciate your whole self. It's about protecting your emotional health and prioritizing your well-being. Letting go may come with grief, but it also comes with freedom. The freedom to live more authentically, to focus on relationships that add value to your life, and to step into spaces where your whole self is valued and celebrated. Section 4. How to break away from those who can't value you. The first step in breaking away from those who can't value your whole self is setting clear boundaries. Boundaries are essential for protecting your emotional well-being. This could mean limiting your interactions with these individuals or removing yourself from their circle altogether. When setting boundaries, be clear and firm. Explain what you need and why certain behaviors are unacceptable. It's not about starting a confrontation, but about asserting your right to be valued. Next, give yourself permission to walk away without guilt. Oftentimes, people stay in toxic relationships out of a sense of duty or obligation. They feel like they owe the other person their loyalty, even when it's hurting them. But you don't owe anyone your emotional health. You have the right to prioritize yourself and walk away from relationships that diminish you. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. It's much easier to break away from toxic relationships when you have a support system in place. Seek out friends, family, or communities who truly value and appreciate you. These are the relationships that nourish your soul, where you can be your authentic self without fear of judgment or rejection. Breaking away isn't always an easy process, but it's a necessary one. By removing yourself from environments that don't serve you, you create space for healthier, more fulfilling connections to enter your life. You give yourself the opportunity to grow into the best version of yourself, unburdened by the expectations or limitations of others. Section 5. Embracing the future with confidence. When you break away from those who can't value your whole self, you open up new possibilities for personal growth and fulfillment. You reclaim the power that was once in the hands of others and place it firmly back in your own. This is an act of self-love and self-respect. As you move forward, remember that the relationships you cultivate should be mutual. They should be spaces where you feel seen, heard, and appreciated for who you are, flaws and all. The right people will value your whole self without conditions. They will support you through life's challenges and celebrate your victories. They will encourage you to grow, not shrink, to be more of yourself, not less. The path to self-empowerment begins with the decision to surround yourself with people who add to your life, not take away from it. Let go of those who don't see your worth, and instead, open yourself up to the love and support that you deserve. The journey to breaking away from unhealthy relationships is not always easy, but it is worth it. You deserve relationships that honor your whole self, your passions, your strengths, your vulnerabilities, and your unique light. And as you break away from those who can't value you, remember, you are never alone on this journey. Your whole self is valuable, and there are people in this world who will love you for exactly who you are. Conclusion. Breaking away from those who can't value your whole self is not about bitterness or resentment. It's about choosing peace, choosing self-love, and choosing to live a life where you are fully valued. Let go of those who can't see your worth, and make room for the people who can. Your journey is just beginning. Remember, you're not alone. We're all on this journey together. So let's help each other to live our best lives. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more motivational tips.